I am talking with Camilla, code name Camilla, and she was involved with the show, A&E show, and we're just going to call that the disaster. And I wanted to ask her some questions so we could share some of her experience with everybody around her experience with the diversion program down in Houston, Texas, that is called We've Been There, Done That, with the facilitator being Kathryn Griffin. Grinion, okay. And I'll never forget, since the beginning of you and I knowing each other, and you would go to these
And
meetings,
come
and
back destroyed.
you were just, I mean, your situation was already demoralizing enough. Your situation was already traumatic. Your situation, your whole life was completely out of your control, and dealing with all sorts of hardship on multiple levels. And here you were having, you thought she coerced you, from what I could tell, into being a part of her program by telling you that it would help your case. In the beginning, I'll never forget, she actually told you that she was going to get your case dismissed, didn't she?
Without a lawyer.
Yeah, without a lawyer. And she
I
won't.
don't need a lawyer.
She told you you did not need a lawyer, and
No.
you marched in there and in front of a judge. What tell everybody about that. How you went, you had your hearing, and she tells you that she's going to get your without a lawyer, get your charges dismissed. What
Yeah.
happened?
First of all, I was uh, in in March. No, in February. I was tired of waiting for somebody. I didn't expect that she was even showing up. Okay, but she showed up 2 minutes before my court hearing, and she said, "I'm gonna walk inside, and don't worry, I'm gonna get your case dismissed." And she got some papers. She walked inside, and then she came back, and she said, "Let me call the lawyer." I said,
So when she
"Wow,
went, you're saying, so she went in and she tried to
yeah,
talk to the prosecutor. Is that what
yes,
happened? And
yeah."
the
But
prosecutor.
she closed the door. I could not see what she was doing. But for me, she was talking to the prosecutor because those people were inside. We were still outside. This was the first, and the prosecutor, I think she walked back because this is totally nonsense. How come you have a criminal case? You don't need a lawyer.
Right.
You can defend yourself also. But come on,
And
really?
but here is this person. She has no. This is very, very. This is an example of what's going on in a variety of different regions with similar situations, similar programs, diversion programs. But here you have a woman. She is working for Harris County Sheriff's Department, and she has a diversion program. Started off as a nonprofit, and then within 2 years, it becomes a taxpayer-funded program. And she shows up at the courthouse so that she can basically coerce people into her program by telling them this is going to help their case, and the judge will see things in a better light. And of course, it's all to her benefit to have people do this because it's going to equal to funding. But here you were, she tells you that she's going to get your case dismissed. She goes into the room without you, doesn't tell you. Did she tell you what she was going to tell the prosecutor?
No.
So she must have had some grand plan, but she goes into the room, comes out, and of course, it wasn't going to be dismissed. You were going to need a lawyer. I wonder if she even knew that to begin with. And she calls a friend of
That's a good
hers.
question.
Yes, she calls a friend of hers who is a lawyer, and then tells you, that he's going to be your lawyer, I guess, for the next hearing, and in the meantime, come to her groups.
No, worse of worse. This was worse. She called it one abuser. I am not sure if what that man did to me was a rape, was considered how it's considered, but the minimum, he was an abuser.
Okay, okay, okay,
He
wait, now
called it,
hold on, hold on, hold on, because people will not know what you're talking about. You already had gone and you had a lawyer. This is what you need to explain that you had been working with a lawyer who you had had employment under for a little while, who had sexually harassed you on the job, and who basically you had hired with a very little bit of money, and he took your money, of course, but because you couldn't come up with the rest of the money, he wasn't going to represent you. And this is the lawyer she's calling, right? At that point.
yeah, after I had this short job, I worked for this man and he abused me every day. And I,
He even asked you, since he knew you'd gotten a prostitution charge, what did he
yeah,
say? What did he say to you how you could pay for your services? I
to
want
give my friend to serve him
Yeah,
for
to
free.
bring another sex worker who would have
Yeah,
sex with him. Uh-huh.
for free.
So this is
As my friend. And Kathryn Griffin, I spoke with her. I said, I can't have this man as my lawyer. Do you know what he does? She said, oh, yes, I do. I do know him very good. But you can call him. And she called him not once, twice. And he didn't answer. And then she started to call other people. And
okay.
she knows that he was my abuser. And she called him. And he's a trafficker. He's a pimp.
Oh, that's a whole nother jar of worms. Oh boy. But I did find that fascinating that there she was, you say admitted that she knew how this man was and abusive, and she's actually calling him for help, even though you'd told her that he had abused you, and was going to
Yeah.
try to get him to be a lawyer for you, even though you had told her of his abuse. And so after that wasn't going to work out, she got you the other lawyer who is a friend of hers. And you described to me numerous times where they would, and this is where you would come home from these situations and totally devastated, and explained to me all the crap that you had dealt with that day. And I'll never forget where they would go, and Kathryn Griffin and this lawyer friend of hers, who she said was going to help you, would have conversations about your case without you present, as if you didn't even matter, as if your input was not necessary. To me, that is not an advocate. That is not someone that, if she were an advocate, she would be explaining to you every step of the way her motivation and intent and her strategy, and help you navigate the system. Everything she did would have been in your behalf and all about helping you and empowering you. But instead, she is excluding you from these conversations and talking with the lawyer behind closed doors without your input. That was
When
mind blowing to me.
when I first met him, he said he asked me to sign a paper. I signed it. It was like giving him permission to go on my case, and he didn't talk to me to know what happened. He spoke with her, closed the door, and they were walking back and forth, and I was just watching. I could not hear. Nobody asked me, are you guilty? What have you done? Why you got arrested? How it was your arrest? And then after everything that he reset the case, the second reset, right?
The
After
reset.
everything,
They put it back a month. That's what she means. They put it back a month. They were going
yeah,
to have they were going to have a hearing, but because this is brand new lawyer, doesn't know anything, then we're going to move it back a month. So this is also at the same time. extending your hardship because you now have a charge, nobody's going to hire you, you can't risk getting arrested again, and that seems to escape these people. You have become just an object in their agenda. Her agenda is to get butts in the seats of her program and to get people in her diversion program. And
Yeah.
also,
And she said, and I want to tell something. Kathryn, she walks in the corridors of the courthouse talking to people that she supposed they were there for drugs or prostitution, and a lot of them are. And she offer her services. She give her card, you know. So these people are there in trouble or something, and it's not like the judge give them a chance. She's jumping on them. As much people she gets, as better. I don't even know how many people she talks and she asks, "What's your charge?" In the corridor, waiting for your court here.
yes, this
Do
happens
you
a
have a
lot.
lawyer?
It happens a lot. This is something that happens very commonly. You see the same thing here in Denver in terms of the programs. They will go and prey on people who are in these vulnerable legal situations and make them, basically you're like a doe in the headlights. You don't know how to navigate things, and here's this person coming offering to help you, but you don't realize that it's not like that. It's not good at all. But originally you thought that this woman was going to help you because that's what she presented, right? First she's telling you she's going to get your case dismissed. Oh, she can work miracles. And then the next thing, you're going to come to her program, which it was a hardship for you just to get to her program, get a ride, get there. And then how many hours did you have to sit there?
In the program, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be from 1 up to 3, 2 hours once a week. But I never got home before 7, 8 o'clock. Sometimes more because she always had something for us to do, or to wait for her, or she wants to go somewhere, and everybody should do whatever she told. And I want to mention, I was not in the. I was told by her lawyer that I should uh, stay on her program, so it would look
Hold on,
good.
hold on. Hold on. What you mean by that? I just want people to understand.
Well,
When you were told by the lawyer she got you, he was
yeah,
volunteering to be your lawyer. So
yeah,
at that point, he was your lawyer, her friend that you are supposed to believe is working in your behalf. So,
yeah.
so go ahead, sweetie.
So he said to me that I should attempt Kathryn's program in order to get my case dismissed easier. I didn't understand what he. I was not familiar with the system here,
So,
so I didn't understand.
right.
And in the same day, I started to attend her program.
This lawyer who Kathryn has gotten, a friend of hers, who's now promoting that you start her program, telling you that it's going to get your case dismissed and it's
Yeah,
going to help you. So they're basically coercing you. They want you to believe that they are going to benefit you, that Kathryn is going to benefit you. So when you start immediately going to her programs, and
yeah,
now, you tell me again how long, how many hours? It's supposed to be only 1 to 3, but every time you went, you were there for many, many more hours. Talk about
yeah.
that.
She always had something to for us to do,
Like what?
or I
Like
should
what?
I should talk to somebody here. You have to get along with these people, and and see the community service that these people used to do. I want you to talk to this social assistant. I want you to understand what you have to do to succeed my program. And she was trying to help caps lock, to get, let's say, housing. So she keep on sending me to other people. And when I talk to these people, the people say, there is nothing I can do for you. So there is a job for you over there. And then I go over there. There's no job over there. So, and in front of everybody, she plays the God. She said that I send you to a job, you see, I work. I Things happen here. I just sent Camila to get a job. So that's how it was working with her. It was too much conversation, and half of the time we did a lot of things to Adrian Garcia.
Yeah, the campaigning for Adrian Garcia, where she
Yes,
would load you guys up in vehicles and go over to his campaign events,
yes.
different ones, so that it would look like there were a lot of supporters. And tell me, I want you to tell everybody, how did she talk to you? How did she treat you as a person? How did you feel?
I was a criminal just like Charles Mason. That's it. You have to confess that you were just like Charles Mason. So, can you imagine how much DNA you had from other men in your body? And I was thinking, what does she mean by that?
Oh, swallowing DNA. Yeah. Can you
Yeah,
imagine
no,
how much
swallowing,
DNA?
swallowing DNA is one of the expressions. There is so much DNA in Catherine's mouth you cannot imagine. She only she only talks about DNA all the time, and she used to say,
She's referring to
"I've
the
got."
blowjobs, all the blowjobs
Yeah,
she used to give.
yeah. So she used to say a lot, like things like, "Oh, I was so disgusted over myself when I was doing prostitution because of all that DNA. So I had a problem with my own husband. I don't want to uh, have a healthy relationship with him without him paying me for that." Look what she said. So, and if I was in this situation, I can imagine how do you feel like trash because you had a lot of men blowing DNA on you. This was kind of things that she used to say. Okay, come on. Do you think you were different, Camilla, because you got caught in prostitution just one time, just because you did a little bit? You were just like everybody else. You need to recover. And I was imagining, what kind of recover? I don't drink. I never do drugs. I don't take an aspirin. I'm a mentally healthy person. Maybe after this program, I will not be anymore. But why should I recover? I even didn't want to do sex work. I was there because my family was hungry. So what is this woman trying to put me so down? And then you start to listen to the other people, and as much drama as you have, as better it was for her. So she tripped it out. She used to show her shoes and say, "Hey, bitch, do you want to have a $500 shoes? You're gonna have to work your ass off and not on prostitution." So looks like a sex worker cannot have a $500 shoes. I hope, I believe they have way better than that, right? Okay, a lot of them, and I wish all of them have. So she she treats people like trash, and she has a gentle persuasion, let's say gentle persuasion, fuck also, form of coercion. Because Adrian Garcia gave her her job, okay? And he gave her her program. And he put the ends together So she has the funds because he was there, the sheriff. Okay, so here it is. Kathryn Griffin is supporting Adrian Garcia, and all of you who went to jail because he ordered that. That's his order. Every single operation in that time in Houston was ordered by him directly. Everybody knows that. So if you were in jail, if you got caught doing prostitution or whatever it is in a sting, or if you just somebody found you somewhere doing that, it was because of him. But now you have to support him to show your appreciation. So
Yeah,
yeah,
appreciate Adrian
so
Garcia for arresting. Let's get him elected, people. We appreciate
yeah,
him. He arrested us. Under
yeah.
his rule, we were arrested. Wow, wonderful. What a great guy.
And here's the thing. So tonight we are going to Brentwood Church, and everybody has to be there. I want to see who's not there. You know how it is, right? You have to show something to get it back. So I give myself to the politics for free for so long, and look what I am now.
That's her
Okay.
talking. You're talking as if you're her.
Yes.
Okay, so
Of
she's
course.
saying, when I got arrested, I went through rehab and programs and I did my volunteer work. So it's your turn. You're going to have to do volunteer work. So you're going to come and help campaign for my friend Adrian Garcia, who's running for mayor. There was something
Because
else.
you are only out of jail because of Adrian Garcia. But she never mentioned that he put everybody in jail.
Well, and also every time you went, she had you going out to places. It was
Yeah,
a media event for her,
yeah,
and the media would be there, and you were little
yeah,
props in her media fanfare.
yeah,
Talk about
yeah,
that a little bit, if you would.
yeah. She not only for her and for him. She, for example, tonight after this meeting, you have to be at 7 o'clock on Brentwood Church because I'm going to speak over a human trafficking conference that we are gonna do there, and Adrian Garcia is there. So I want everybody there on T-shirts from We've Been Done That.
We've been there,
By
done
the
that.
way,
Yes, the
yeah,
T-shirts she
by,
had you guys wearing
yeah.
to be
By the
walking
way, I
billboards.
didn't have a T-shirt because I had no money to buy it.
She didn't even give them to you. She wanted you to buy them and then advertise for her.
Yes,
God. I
yeah,
don't, if that's not exploitation, I don't know what is. And this is happening with people fearing for their well-being because they have criminal cases. Being in this program is an adjunct to that criminal case. They're believing that by being in this program, it's going to help them. And look at what would have happened. Let's go back and backtrack to the lawyer that she had volunteering to work, as your lawyer. He didn't do anything.
nothing.
If it were not for the cupcakes, raising the money, the donations that were raised via the cupcakes and other people, donating, that lawyer would not have been put into place because the lawyer that Kathryn had there for you wasn't doing a damn thing, wasn't even
Nothing. He
talking
was
to
just
you.
restating my case.
He wasn't asking you anything, wasn't telling you anything, is also not trying to get the transcripts, which is what the lawyer ended up doing. He got the transcripts of the recordings during the raid, of the police officers talking and communicating with you. That's what got you dismissed because you were asked to perform certain activities by the police officer, and clearly in the transcript it says no. You say no. And had that the new lawyer from the donations And this really says something too about, many people are in situations right now, they cannot afford a lawyer. And how many people are going to have those charges or have to feel they have to take a plea deal or go through one of these horrible, unregulated, exploitative programs when if they were able to afford a lawyer or, knew how to navigate the system better, they would, in the situation like this, have access to the evidence that gets them dismissed. That lawyer of Kathryn's wasn't doing a damn thing to help you. And how many months did you have that lawyer? And he didn't
3 months.
3 months. And how many months did you have the lawyer that the cupcakes got you that he actually went and got those transcripts? Wasn't that the thing that he did?
I was in the court one time with him,
Yeah.
and he reset my case. And I said, "Oh no." He said, "Shut up. Let me work." Okay? And because reset is something that I didn't want to listen.
I
He
know.
said, "Let me work.
He had to do it that
The
time.
transcripts are not with me, and that's not my fault. I'm waiting for them. So I cannot get started if I don't have the transcript." But he ordered the transcript in the same day I contracted him.
Yes.
That's how he started. But
So,
it takes a little while to get in his
right.
hands.
But it's
And I
obvious.
had my,
This
and I had my date, my court date, and he didn't have the transcript. And he sat down and he reset the case. Okay, so I went the second time with him.
Yeah, but see, the point is this. The point, he had already ordered it.
Yeah,
It
at
was
the
the
same
first thing
same
he
day.
did. And this loser, what was his name? That lawyer's name, the friend of Kathryn?
Mark Miller, Walter Mark Miller.
Walter McMiller didn't do nothing because he was never going to do anything. That's my opinion. He was going to let you just be at the mercy of the situation that Kathryn wanted to navigate, whatever Kathryn told him to do. So it's really disgusting, and they know that you are hurting. They know that you are not employable, or maybe they don't really understand, but it sure didn't matter. And
No, she knows
so,
everything. What I tried to say to Kathryn, she used to tell me, "I know, I understand." She doesn't let me talk.
but
Never.
they're letting you hurt, and they're just stringing you along. Now let's go back over to the treatment or the torture. She knew that you had been involved with the disaster, which is the
Yeah.
show. She was involved with the show. And
Oh yeah.
how did she tell everybody how she treated you? You've expressed to me that it was obvious that she was very, well, first of all, she's telling you to shut up and to not talk, to not tell your experience. Tell us about that.
Every time she stand up in front of the group, she starts to say, "Camila." She comes from the show, from the disaster.
Yeah, she's telling them that you were involved with the show.
Yeah. And tell me about your experience. No, 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 no. Don't tell. You have to understand. And everybody, the audience is looking after me. The show didn't get you arrested. You put yourself, you were working as a prostitute, so that's why you get
No,
arrested.
wait, hold a minute. This is very interesting because did you ever say to her that you believed the show got you arrested?
No,
So, isn't that very interesting that she is now she's mocking you in front of the other participants in the diversion program. And she is making an example of you, but she says the show didn't get you arrested, thinking in her mind
many
that
times, many
that's
times.
what you would be thinking. Huh? Well, who does she work for?
I just said
She
to
works
her
for Harris
many
County.
times. Yes, I just told her many times, Miss Catherine, I would never get arrested if the show would come up with the promises. Which promises? They promised to pay your rent. You would be outside next day working again.
She said that to you, for you.
Oh, many times.
Like she can think for you. She knows you.
Mm-hmm. Miss Catherine, they didn't promise me to pay my rent only. Look, Hollywood people, you cannot trust. But look, the show didn't get you arrested. The show is a very good thing. The show is helping to, how you say, to spread the word.
Yeah, spread
To talk,
awareness. Thank God
yeah,
it was
to talk
canceled.
about
For that,
my program.
for that very reason, it needed to be canceled because it was not spreading awareness. It was spreading bullshit. It was spreading lies because the show itself was a lie. And we know that's another conversation, but all that is up at sexworkersolidarity.com. And the show promised the world employment, medical, escape, escape from the poverty, from the hardship. And they ended up giving the 211 list, the charities list that you can get from the mayor's office with exhausted, very limited resources and no help. And we saw, there's a recording up on Sex Worker Nation YouTube where there are a bunch of women who were promised, it's all over the show, that they were promising employment opportunities, and there was nothing, nothing, nothing. And it's true, you would not have been arrested had they lived up to their word. That is just obvious. It doesn't matter if the show is
I was
responsible
not,
or not.
yeah,
I
I was
mean,
not accusing. At that point, I was not accusing the show
oh no, no, for her
to
to
like
say
to
that,
call the police.
that's
I was just saying, at that point, I was not accusing them to put me in jail. I didn't know as much as I know now. And I learned from her to how they do work. But at that point, I was just saying that the responsibility belongs to them because they didn't fill up with the promises. So why
right,
didn't you get a job? I
right.
was trying a job before.
Well, see, that's the same thing, isn't it? That you've been dealing with other people. Everybody's like, why doesn't she get a job? She like you're lazy. So we have the antis and the diversion program people and everybody and people even from all directions who don't understand this is what's wrong with the rescue industry. People they're there for their own jobs and salaries, bottom line. They don't care about people. They're not there to help people. They're there to fund their own lives. And the people that come into these programs are the fuel. The caseload is the fuel for their salaries.
About Kathryn. How come supposed prostitute has to stay in her program 9 years? She's holding people for 9 years in her program. And does it take 9 years to recover from sex work? Really?
If it's not a nurturing environment, if that environment is not supportive, if it's a shaming environment, and hers is a very shaming environment. And if you had a victim, someone who had been raped, someone who had been forced into sex labor, having to sit through her sermons describing swallowing DNA, that's traumatizing to somebody who enjoys sex work, let alone someone who doesn't. So she is incompetent, and but worse than incompetent, she is abusive, traumatizing. The way I mean, I spoke to you on the phone almost every time you came home from one of her groups.
I
And
was destroyed, right?
every time you were just destroyed and devastated, and you were constantly saying, I didn't think I needed therapy before, but I think I might need therapy now because this, and the way you described that she treated you, like the time where you told me one day that she was late Everybody was there. She greets everyone there. Hello, hello, happy, great to see you, wonderful, and goes down the line, every person there, and she saves you for last and hands you her purse and walks away.
Yes, yes, exactly
I'll
that.
never forget that.
Exactly like that. And Kathryn, as much as she saw that the activist, and she got to know from the disaster producers that there was something wrong going on
You mean
online.
what you mean this that you're talking about when the sex worker community was standing up
Yeah,
and
and
she was
they
made
tried
aware.
to. I was talking behind because I could not put my face in, and
Yes.
uh, she was she was getting very angry because she knows it starts with me. And I was telling Miss Catherine, these people, they lied and lured a lot of women. No, you are just a bunch of bitches looking for somebody to pay your rent.
She said that?
Oh, she said that many times.
Oh, and something
She
else.
said that
I'm
many
remembering
times.
you telling me how she would tell you to shut up all the time. Just tell you to
Okay,
shut up.
yeah, shut up. Shut up. So you see this woman here one day, somebody who comes for the show. The 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 sister of this woman was on the show, and the woman was arrested. And the sister was also a sex worker looking for some kind of help. So she was one time in Catherine's program, and she said in front of everybody, "You see, you tell that the show doesn't help people. They are helping. They brought me her here. Her sister is in jail, and she comes from the show. Oh wow! But if her sister was in jail and she was on the show, why she was in jail? The show was supposed to help people so
Right.
they don't get in trouble.
Right. Give them
Okay?
another chance, but they didn't do that, and it forced people to start doing sex work again.
Yes, for everybody, in front of everybody. I was the worst piece of shit there because I was talking bad. I was being treated as somebody who was betraying, my saviors because the show gives me Catherine. And Catherine was going to save my life with her lawyer, with her job that never happened, that she wants me to drive 1 hour and a half far from Houston in the middle of the floating, right? And I was there before. So everything was so hard. Everything was so impossible. And I was always guilty. I was always doing something wrong for her. Okay. And and then the day that the show was finally out off,
Off the air, taken down.
she called. Yeah, she called me a week before. Adrian Garcia announced, I'm going to be retired and I'm going to run for mayor in Houston. And she made us go there to clap hands and give some flyers to everybody who was around that place.
Mhm.
So we had to do this for one entire afternoon for a couple hours
And
and
without getting
then back.
paid, without getting paid, you were not getting paid. You were
Oh
giving
no.
your labor. This is
Yes.
a diversion program. Let's put this into context here. This is a diversion program consisting of people who have been arrested, who are in this as in some cases as an adjunct to their criminal case, thinking that it's going to help them. They've been arrested under the authority of the sheriff, Adrian Garcia, and now they are in this situation where they are basically don't have a choice. I mean, what? If you think this program is going to help you with your case, you're going to say, no, I'm not going to do free labor in behalf of Adrian Garcia's campaign. You think people are going to say no? They are under the mercy of the court in their minds. They're under Kathryn Griffin's mercy. in their minds. They think that they have to do this.
Yes.
They're,
Yes.
these are people who are one step away from homeless or are
Yes.
homeless. If they're
Yes.
going to be doing any work, they should be getting paid for it. And if anyone should understand that, it's this Kathryn Griffin woman. If she is a true advocate and if she really understands what these people are going through, but yet she is exploiting them. It's infuriating.
In today,
And getting away with it too. And taxpayers
as
are paying for it.
much as the show was going to be kicked out off the air, that the pressure was too big on them, sex workers start, and then the media start. Media was very heavy when she, as worse as she was treating me. And then finally came the day that the show was off. I got a call from her, and the show was, it was just a humor. It was not 100% sure. The television broadcasting company was taking off from great, the programming they have, and we were not sure 100%. But I got a call in the middle of the, almost in the evening, and I answer her. Yes, Miss Kathryn, Camila, yelling. Do you want to live in Houston? Do you want to have a job? Do you want to stay outside of the jail? Do you want your case dismissed? So I'm going to tell you one thing. This show is my kid. You don't mess up with my kid. I'm here to help you because of the show. The show sent me to you. You would never have my help if it would not be the show. And you bitches, because of the rant, are about to ruin my work with the show. These people are my people, and you are hurting my people. So if you are hurting my people, you are going to get hurt too. Do you want a job? Do you want your husband to have a chance of a job? Do you want to have a life? Do you want to keep your kids with you? And I heard. I was thinking, well, if I step outside of the door, somebody's going to shoot me. Look, that day, I'm not a person who is afraid of situations. I've been through a lot when I was arrested and so on. So I was thinking, oh, Jesus. Now, these people are going to put some drugs on me. They are going to do something against me. This is not working, what this woman is saying. And then she said, you don't do anything against the show anymore. I don't want, if not, forget about Kathryn. This was her yells at me. And then the show was shut down. And then I had to go to the program once more.
So you must have been terrified.
I mean, I was for my kids, not for me. I was thinking, oh my God, what should I do if something happens? It's kind of now like some people say, why she doesn't go to the sex work? If somebody takes care of my daughter, I will. Well, but some people want to send my daughter to foster care, and then this is not going to happen.
And here, a lot of people don't know what you've been dealing with in personalities down there in Houston. And they don't understand. They don't understand.
These people are very influent here. And I'm a person who has not even a car. It's not that I can jump in my car and drive somewhere. Okay, I have no car. I have no money for nothing. And I was dealing with Kathryn.
No, it was horrible. Honey, it was traumatizing to me. I was right there with you, listening and the damage she was doing. And you were just, wow. I mean, it was a lot. It was so intense. I'll never forget it because as you're telling me, what she's doing and the things she's saying and I'm seeing the picture, oh my God, of what is going on here. It's horrific. It's awful. These people are getting away with this. And,
yes, they go.
And for you to be standing up, you're risking yourself. And everybody is. We're all risking ourselves. This is not a joke. That's why it is so serious for people to start understanding This is not a joke. This is not a social media event. This is not a game. This is not a launching pad for your career. This is people's lives. This is serious. This is people's children being taken away. This is the threat of that. This is people not being able to take care of themselves. This is this is life and death. It's serious.
Well, and there's a bunch of women, they are so poor. They don't have any, you know, there are people who doesn't know exactly what they are doing. When I reached the program, I also didn't know, but not because I'm not educated, but because I was not familiar.
Yeah, it's new
And
territory. It's
yeah,
you know,
everything is new. The system is new. And I really thought that at some point the lawyer was going to her lawyer because I was going to her program. I was very punctual. Doesn't matter what,
oh, you
you
were you
know?
were there. I mean, my God, you went constantly, and it was a huge hardship for you to go. You should have been working, looking for, there was so many other productive things that you could have been doing, but instead, we're there. And then while you're there, you were being totally tortured and traumatized and abused. It was horrible.
Yes,
It was horrible to
yes.
watch. It was horrible to observe and feel and see, and then to realize, wow, this goes on, this
No,
happens.
and I was having, it was, I never mentioned, but when I got this next lawyer, the one who is a real lawyer,
The one the cupcakes got for you.
yeah, when they fundraising him and paid him, and he was there finally for me, doing what the other ones should have been doing, in just listening to the voice recordings because the truth was there. And so he just me, you don't have to go there anymore. When he told me that I didn't have to go there anymore, it was like I was being released from jail.
Yeah.
Even in jail, jail was better than there. You understand? The people inside of the jail, they were more respectful than her.
Yeah, going to her program was worse than being in jail.
Oh yes, oh yes.
No, I remember telling you that. Like, man, if I was in Houston and I got arrested for prostitution, if I'd rather go to jail than have to spend a single minute with that woman and listening to the her sermons that she gives. She is one of the most demoralizing, dehumanizing, oppressive, damaging people I have ever listened to. And I worked in the holistic medicine field for 18 years with preventative and holistic medicine and recovery and healing. That woman needs healing. And you can't give or facilitate, you can't facilitate an environment where people can heal themselves when you are damaging them. That's not how it works. There is no healing in her world. So I am not surprised that someone is still in her program after 9 years because there, no, you know,
I have also another explanation for that. What Catherine does is every time you try to get away from her program, for example, not me, the other women, she has to point them to some services like housing and so on. So you go through a long list of waiting. You go to a shelter and then to a transitory house, and then you go to a place that you can call your own. But this is a long walk. Takes maybe a year. So what she does is she makes sure that you have to serve her program for a certain amount of time. And after she starts the process. And when you finally got a place to live, cheaper or that accept that you have a record or some I'm talking about the other women. When you finally get there, these women they have a contract, right? This housing thing is not forever. So when this contract has to have renewed like a leasing contract, they will need Catherine again. So she sign it and they can get it cheaper. You understand what I mean? They it's like the section 8,
yeah,
but
yeah.
she connects them with something which looks like the check, but it's for people who have this kind of problems, criminal record. And then she get it cheaper. So you are always depending on her. And that's why people are there 9 years. That's why people are there 5 years. That's why there was an ex John there. The ex John is also doing therapy. Okay. And he testifies there because he's a lonely man that she's using him. And he believes that he's there giving his testimony, and everybody will learn from him. And he breaks my heart. And this guy, he was arrested 20 years ago because he was a John, and he was still there. And one day I asked him why you were here. Well, I got used to. And other women, they keep going there because these people, imagine, they have nothing to do. They have no place to go.
Well,
They
it's
don't have
yeah,
friends.
similar to other similar organizations, where people just tend to just hang around there, instead of actually ever lifting off. And in some ways, it's good. I mean, it gives them a place to go. But if they want to be there, if you want to be there, okay. But it's unfortunate if you're coerced into being there, or basically brainwashed into being there, or forced against your will to be there, which is the majority of the people, from what I can tell. But so let's go ahead and
Nobody can say that it's nice to be there. I can't believe that no one wants to be there. And besides me, it breaks, it's very heartbreaking that women, they think that it's normal what Kathryn does.